on the screen, my name is Benjamin Arunda, and I say I'm a certified blockchain expert. And I am the founder of ChainAdvise Blockchain Advisory. This is a company that is based in Nairobi. And what I do is I consult for corporates. I focus largely on corporates and corporate executives and helping them in adopting blockchain. And what I can say even before I go to the next slide is that the opportunities for blockchain and cryptocurrency are immense. And actually, the problem is there's a low supply of experts. There's a low supply of enough people to really take on these opportunities and position themselves deliberately to take on these opportunities. So let me just try to highlight something here. And I'm just going to remove this. Sorry. So number one thing that people often say is that blockchain will take away the jobs from us. And this is because of the disintermediation. Yeah. Because a lot of jobs are actually created across different industries because of the intermediation. The middleman, I mean, whether you talk about banks, whether you talk about insurance brokers, actually all industries rely on middlemen for there to be a complete transaction between the user and the service provider. So the reliance on these middlemen actually creates a lot of jobs. So if you remove the middleman and you make transactions peer-to-peer, then it has been said often that that will result to loss of jobs. And I chose on these two quotes here to start with, and these are probably quotes that you've heard about already. It says that the first one by Vitalik Buterin, it says, whereas most technologies tend to automate workers on the periphery, doing manual tasks, blockchains automate away the center. Blockchains automate away the center. Instead of putting the taxi driver out of a job, blockchain puts Uber out of a job unless the taxi drivers work with the customers directly. So in this case, we're talking about, I mean, everybody else may be employed directly by Uber. And this is, if this was to come through, then that would mean there's a threat this would threat their source of income. Then the other one is, the interesting thing about blockchain is that it has made it possible for humanity to reach a consensus about a piece of data without having any authority to dictate it. That means then it will be possible for people to transact peer-to-peer, relying on a trustless system like blockchain, because then we are able to establish trust, we are able then to establish transparency. Because across different industries, there's a lot of opaqueness. And then let's now look at why do we think blockchain will create jobs? And I really have a strong feeling, a strong belief that blockchain will actually create many jobs. And those jobs, a number of them are already created even today. So why will blockchain create jobs? First, we have to see blockchain as a revolutionary technology. If you think about the internet, why does the internet create jobs? Why did it create jobs? If you were there before the internet, you will know that, I mean, communication and transactions were largely really difficult because of the gap and the challenge of distance. Now, with blockchain, with internet, we bridge the gap of distance. Yeah. So with blockchain as well, we're bridging the gap of trust. Yeah. So blockchain, being a revolutionary technology, has a potential to disrupt all industries. Yeah, in different ways, because every industry contemporarily today operates on a centralized system, which means all industries today have a single point of failure. That's why we experience hacks in different parts of the world. That's why different companies experience hacks and different data breaches. across different industries, whether you talk about corruption in governments, whether you talk about breaches in databases, whether you talk about breaches in different systems. I mean, it is the issue of single point of failure, that these systems are centralized, therefore they have a single point of failure. And when you now use blockchain, it changes the whole conversation. And I won't go in depth about this because I believe there have been other sessions in the previous other sessions to be done by the Cryptocurrency Academy that have been running for the last probably over a month, that have covered that area. So I won't delve into that area. So all industry leverage intermediaries to establish trust and transparency. In an increasing world like this, generally in an increasingly digitizing world like this, I mean, there's companies that are increasingly relying on digital forums. Like right now, we are having a conference, we're having a session where I'm not able to see your face, because increasingly institutions and individuals are trusting the digital platforms, and digital transactions are being trusted, which means then a lot of transactions will actually over time shift into digital. A lot that have not yet shifted will actually shift into digital. If you look, for instance, I was shocked that if you look at the two main banks in Kenya, like Equity and KCB, actually over 70% of their revenues come from activities that are non-branch activities. These are activities that happened via their digital platforms, either their mobile money, their mobile banking platforms, or even internet banking platforms. What does that mean? Then, that means then the bank does not need so many tellers, to serve more customers, because customers can then be able to transact without going to the branch, and that is increasing. Equity Bank said in 2019, Mwangi, the CEO, said that in the near future, Equity Bank will have no physical branch, and that may take years, of course. That may take even probably because and that will be gradual or progressive depending on which market, because Kenya has really moved ahead with regard to adoption of the internet, which then makes it possible for most people to grow in literacy with regard to using mobile phones and using internet, so they are able to transact. And also because of M-Pesa penetration, so many people are really mobile literate, so they're able to transact. But other countries are not the same. So if you look at what we talked about with regard to the intermediations in industries, then you realize that blockchain then will change a lot, because blockchain, being a decentralized digital ledger, blockchain's goal is to eliminate, either partly or entirely, the intermediator, and do what? And do the role of the what that the intermediator has been playing for the last several years. So then we are able to transact without having to trust an individual. So that means a lot. So, I mean, that part that I've just completed is probably the most boring part. And because then I'm trying to explain and just get you to understand the reason why blockchain will create a lot of jobs. Because if you don't understand this concept, then you will think that probably the only jobs that blockchain will create is maybe you can be a trader, crypto trader, and that's what many people are focusing on. And that's why I'm telling you there are different aspects of blockchain careers that the demand is growing so fast, but there are no people focusing on that, because most people are actually just focusing on how can I trade crypto? How can I buy this crypto and make some money? But trust me, the corporate world, they are not looking for crypto traders largely, except, of course, for investment bankers and investment banks and maybe individual investors. But there are more careers in blockchain and cryptocurrency than you can think of. So let's dive into some of these careers. So I don't know if any of you have heard of a blockchain and a cryptocurrency researcher. This is generally, think of any field, any industry. The reason why the West actually I don't know if you've ever asked yourself about this. Why is the West and the Americas, Europe, America, and even China growing faster than Africa? Why did Singapore grow faster than Kenya? Why is Dubai building skyscrapers in a land where they don't really have good ground to build skyscrapers? How did they manage to do this? So across the world, what I realized is that these countries or these companies, they leverage a lot on research and development. So any country you go to or any industry you go to where there's no adequate research and development, there is always a stagnation with regard to growth. Yeah, and that's what you have to understand. So any new industry, whether it's in healthcare, any aspect, whether it's an evolutionary aspect of perhaps a technology, what drives that technology or what drives that industry is research and development. Yeah, and that's why, as we speak, there are already established blockchain research labs, blockchain research institutes across the world. If you Google, you can be able to find a number of blockchain research institutes and research labs, because it is through that we can be able to drive blockchain adoption and development. Because through research, we are able to establish then what are the weaknesses of what are the weak areas that can be enhanced in adopting blockchain technology. Like you realize that an area that crypto devs have really tried to solve is the speed of transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain. And you probably heard of the Lightning project that is all about trying to increase the speed of transactions or the transaction throughput in the Bitcoin blockchain. So generally, research and development institutions are being set up to create to research on blockchain and how blockchain can be implemented. Because like I will say in probably in a later slide, blockchain is one of the most hyped technologies since the internet. And why is so? If you look at most hyped technologies, it's always because of misunderstanding, because there's no enough content to online also to help people learn and to help people really grow in these areas. But as we see, progressively, we are really starting to see a lot of content online in every aspect of blockchain technology. And blockchain is really evolving. And that's why today you can see we have NFTs, we have decentralized exchanges really growing fast. We have P2P platforms growing fast. And why is so? Because the research in blockchain industry is really growing fast. And that's a niche that somebody can tap into. But the second career that I think is very easy entry for anyone that is looking into starting a career in the blockchain industry or crypto industry is the blockchain and cryptocurrency blogger. I mean, if you check on Google, you check on YouTube, there is really an increase in the content of regarding blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And the best way that cryptocurrency founders use to popularize their projects is actually through blogging. So they really leverage on blogging. I mean, if many of you, I want to believe are Kenyans. If you ever follow Robert Alai, you'll know the influence that he has with regards to different topics. Yeah, and it is these bloggers and a number of other bloggers. I don't know if you follow this blogger called Edgar Obare, and a number of them online. What they do and why brands use them sometimes is because they use blogging to make viral a product that probably would take several years before they could go viral. So these guys become influencers in their fields, and cryptocurrency influencers and bloggers are really paid well. Yeah, are really paid well, and this is something I've experienced myself. I've involved myself in negotiations by cryptocurrency companies that wanted me to probably work with them as with regard to in that area. So there, as I said, when I was starting, blockchain and crypto opportunities are immense, and I can't do all of them. Yeah, you have to just decide on what you want to carve your which market you want to focus on, or which career you want to focus and build on. So with over 10,000 cryptocurrencies on the coin market cap, and more cryptos, by the way, are not even listed on coin market cap. And all these cryptos, they want to grow. They're trying to build up a market for themselves. And many of them have some capital to start with. Yeah. So many of them are already willing to pay in cryptocurrency and also pay in maybe fiat currency and have their brand be seen. So with 10,000 cryptocurrencies alone, that's enough market for us. Yeah, that's already enough market. You've not even talked about the blockchain technology itself. This is just focusing on the cryptocurrency aspect only. So there's a lot with regard to the opportunities that are available in cryptocurrency blogging. So this is an area that I would advise that you are really keen on this area, you really explore, because I believe that the purpose of this session is for you to not just to listen and go home and wait for the next session, but it's for you to take action. Yeah? Because myself, one day I just took action and decided I have to build a career in this industry, and I disrupted the entire thing, everything else I was doing, and diverted my career to focus on this industry, because I realized it's a new industry and I had a great potential, yeah, in this industry. The blockchain and cryptocurrency consultant. So this is actually the area that I have focused on, because you have to know your strength. You have to know what best can you do. If you're good in writing blogs, if you can focus on writing blogs and really give it your all, then this is an industry. You can decide maybe to take cryptocurrency blogging. But if you think maybe you want to approach the corporate or do more of consulting, then blockchain and cryptocurrency consulting is an area that has great potential. Great potential. I can't lie to you. This is an area that as well that has great potential. And I've been privileged to travel because of this. Travel a lot because of this. Because, setting up a blockchain or a cryptocurrency company, and there are a number of challenges that people don't know. One, a corporate executive doesn't even know where to start with regard to even, okay, how does he even implement blockchain in his company or in our company? How do they even decide on which blockchain to use or which particular blockchain to ride on? How do they even decide how best to implement? Do you implement blockchain 100% for that purpose, or do you implement it 10%? Because what I advise companies sometimes a client brings a problem, and actually you realize such problems there are already existing technologies that can solve that problem. Not just blockchain, because blockchain sometimes the hype has always been sometimes blockchain is going to solve every problem, which is not so. So as a consultant, you have to help the corporate executive understand where it is necessary to employ or to use blockchain technology. And my company is actually the second company there, ChainAdvise. So with ChainAdvise, I have been able to consult for companies. And what are the problems? What are the challenges when you try that corporate executive bring when I consult? Number one problem, one of the key problems, I won't say number one, but one of the key problems has been, how do we set up a company, like a crypto company, in a world where the regulatory frameworks are not clear? There are no regulatory frameworks in most countries for cryptocurrencies. So you are not able to set up a legal entity and operate well, functionally, without having regulatory hurdles. So that's an area that corporate executives really want advice on. And another advice they want is where do they start? How is blockchain even relevant to them? Yeah, like banks. Trust me, even the banking industry, that's actually my leading market, because in the banking industry, the bankers are really scared. Like, there's hype, this thing is disrupting, blockchain is disrupting the banking, and they don't know where to start. So the corporate executives will ask questions of how do we implement blockchain? And these banks have money. They are ready to put in money with regard to implementing, but they don't know where to start. They don't know because they are really highly regulated. They don't know where to start with regard to the regulatory environment, and they don't know where to start with regard to the implementation of the technology. So these are areas where a consultant is needed. Yeah, and if you decide to carve out a career out of cryptocurrency consulting or blockchain consulting, these are really rich area. I can tell you for a fact, this industry, especially with regard to consulting, this thing hasn't exploded yet. It is yet to explode. The opportunity is so immense, yeah? Because let me tell you, in the next few years, yeah, or in the coming several months, what you'll realize is you will start seeing mainstreaming of blockchain education into local universities and mainstream, maybe even public and even private universities. When you see that, you should know then this is now mass market, because then universities don't train people before they evaluate the market. They don't create courses that have no market. So when you see these courses mainstreaming in universities, you should know that the market is exploding. So before that happens, you should prepare yourself, because even the professors themselves don't know how to teach this blockchain. They don't know how to deliver it. So they will look outside the university, they look outside professorship and look for people who understand blockchain and cryptocurrency to teach these courses. So these are just opportunities that are already coming and are on the way. And I can tell you for a fact, these are guaranteed opportunities that will come. Another opportunity that I won't really stay much on is blockchain and cryptocurrency architects. You know, remember we started with the blockchain researcher. So a corporate executive, before he does anything, he will focus on the research that is available with regard to the technology. So if the research is available, that's why you see like Deloitte, they have created the research departments for blockchain, and other companies as well, even banks in the US mostly have created separate departments to do blockchain research and development. So once they have researched, what next do they go to? They probably would like to now engage maybe a consultant. Yeah. Now, the consultant can be in-house, or they can maybe secure an external consultant. Now, once they consult, the consultant guides them on where they can implement blockchain and how they can use blockchain to bring value. After that, the next thing they actually look into is how then do they design a blockchain a system, or let me say a prototype that then now they can build upon. And that's where they need a blockchain designer or a blockchain architect, because then this guy is able to design for them the process flow. How will the transactions flow in the blockchain system? Will it overhaul the legacy infrastructure that they already have in the company? Or is there a way it can be integrated with the legacy system to increase maybe efficiency? And that depends on maybe how the consultant has advised the company on the percentage of implementation, because sometimes maybe a company just needs 10% blockchain implementation in their system to enhance transparency and some efficiency. But sometimes maybe, especially for certain digital companies, they may decide to implement blockchain 100% on that system, on their business model to solve a problem. So the architects as well are really growing in demand, the need for architects. So that's an area that somebody can really also be, especially if you have interest in that area with regard to design, and you can double up as somebody can double up as a blockchain developer and as a blockchain architect, if you have that technical mind. Then blockchain developers, of course, of course, at the end of the day, after researching, after consulting, after designing, at the end of the day, it's not over until you develop the solution. So that's where blockchain developers become really key. And that's why blockchain developers are laughing all the way to the bank, because they're paid well, really, really well. And if you have a background in programming, or you have the skills in programming, or you think you can really learn fast, because I did try this as well. I tried to do a little bit programming, but at some point I realized this is not where my interest is. I really not have so much interest in developing. So I prefer to leverage on developers. So what I do, I partner with people who are developing. So when I get to the point of architect or consulting, once we've consulted, then I'm able to guide the client on what next with regard to development. So I don't need to be a developer myself because I've decided to be a blockchain and cryptocurrency consultant. So focusing on consulting, I can then leverage on other careers in the blockchain industry to give a client a full package of the solution. So blockchain development, if you're good with regard to development, programming, this is an area that you can as well build a career. And you might think you are too late for it. I don't think you're too late. I mean, this thing is yet to explode. Yeah. And for instance, right now, if you are able to develop solutions like NFT platforms, blockchain wallets, and you're able to develop, let's say, P2P exchanges, and these are areas that are increasing in demand. Yeah, increasing in demand a lot. Yeah, so that's an area that maybe if you are interested, you can also focus on. Then at the end of the day, this is a project. When you're talking about blockchain, implementing a blockchain or cryptocurrency in your company or as a startup, it is a project. So it has to be managed as a project, and it's an wholesome project. So at the end of the day, it is advisable, especially if it's a multi-million-dollar project, it should engage or involve a project manager. And the contemporary project managers largely do not have expertise with regard to blockchain and cryptocurrency. So companies would prefer to engage a blockchain and cryptocurrency project managers because then they know, because there are differences with regard to careers in blockchain and other careers because of being a revolutionary industry. This is a new concept. It's a whole new concept. And I really find it difficult sometimes. It's something I learn every day to explain properly in simple terms to people what blockchain is. Because you meet people and to explain for them to get the concept of what blockchain is, it takes them time. So this is an area that I keep learning every day because sometimes I find myself to explaining it in a way that is a little bit still complex. So I actually do explain it now depending on which forum or which audience you're speaking to. But I can assure you that cryptocurrency project management is another career area that you can focus on. Then blockchain security auditors. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it is important that every system that is built be secure. Yeah, it should be secure. So if it is going to be secure, it has to be audited. Yeah. After building it, there has to be somebody who is a professional to audit it. And I've told you that this thing have not exploded yet. Now, you imagine our local banks, imagine a point where they start implementing blockchain in different segments, or even our local companies, because blockchain implementation, blockchain solutions or applications are immense and are available are relevant to every industry. So when they start implementing all this, I mean, they will engage developers, they'll engage consultants, but at the end of the day, they are really careful about their data. So at the end of the day, the integrity of the code has to be guaranteed. And while blockchain, with regard to the algorithm, is secure, yeah, because it is immutable, the problem comes in the integrity of the code. If the code is not well written, then there can be loopholes. And that's why we require a blockchain security auditor, so that at the end of the day, this guy comes in and audits. And this guy will probably be paid somewhere close to the blockchain developer because he will be very crucial. And many companies will probably prefer to have an in-house blockchain security auditors or even get from outside. But if you've probably heard of the decentralized autonomous organization, the DAO hack. I mean, if you read about the DAO hack, you realize that there were really inherent loopholes with regard to the code, and those are what also created, made it possible for it to be hacked. So the niche for blockchain security auditors is there, and we can tap on it. And this will really grow in the coming years. The moment the blockchain mainstreams, you'll start seeing many of these careers being advertised and a company starting to hire for their departments, in-house departments. Then blockchain lawyers, trust me, the problems that revolve around the legal aspect of blockchain, with regard to implementing it, with regard to jurisdiction, with regard to the legal frameworks of cryptocurrencies and other crypto projects, you realize that regulators across the world sometimes are confused as to whether they should categorize cryptocurrencies as securities or as assets or as So this confusion actually creates huge opportunity for lawyers, because this is a regulatory environment. Now, when you're talking about cryptocurrency lawyers or blockchain lawyers, the jobs that will arise, actually every cryptocurrency project, involves an aspect, that requires the services of a lawyer, And I'll just give you an example. I'm currently consulting for a company, and the number one problem that we faced during the consultancy stage, the number one problem, because right now they're at development stage, the number one problem they faced that really we scratched our heads about was the legal framework of how to establish the company with regard to as a legal entity. You can't register it in Kenya because, Kenya, we don't have a legal framework for cryptocurrency. So then you then have to put together a legal team, and you scan around the world which one is the best jurisdiction to register a cryptocurrency company. So there are a number of jurisdictions that we guide clients to register in. There is the jurisdictions that are known largely is Estonia and Malta, but there's also Seychelles. Like my previous client, he actually registered in Seychelles because Seychelles as well has a friendly environment, not to crypto, but largely not to necessarily to crypto, but their regulatory environment. They have certain frameworks that allow for you to operate a crypto company. So those are now what the client does not know by the time he's procuring you, and you have to guide the client and just guide the client on how best he should be able to register the company and where. So that's why there's a huge opportunity for blockchain and cryptocurrency lawyers, and actually that's where I am. My career is really also focusing on that, because at some point I realized that I needed that. I have passion in law, so I'm actually in law school as well, with focus on blockchain, fintech, and tax law. So that is something that I'm looking forward also to leverage on, because I know the opportunities there will be immense. You think of it, the day governments across the world or across Africa will decide now to create the legal framework for blockchain. Think of how many jobs or opportunities will be there for people who are skilled in law or people who are qualified in that area, with regard to consultants, blockchain lawyers. There will be immense opportunities, because it's not about when. And when I say this irrespective of the fact that people sometimes say that cryptocurrencies are just hot air balloon and it will burst and they will not go anywhere. Even if cryptocurrencies end today, there will still be opportunity for blockchain, because blockchain technology, this problem that it has solved, will remain. So the opportunities in this industry will continue to grow. I think there's a background noise from someone. Thank you. Just about to finish. Then blockchain and cryptocurrency analyst. This is another area, by the way, especially for those people who are interested a lot in speculation and try to analyze the different cryptocurrencies, the projections. Investment banks are really looking for this. And these are all that is also growing in opportunity, because making money in cryptocurrencies is mainstreaming, and investors are starting to put big money. I mean, when you see like Elon Musk putting like $1.5 billion in cryptocurrency in Bitcoin, and other people like Jack Dorsey and others, maybe institutions, what we call the institutional investors, they don't just put that blindly. They need analysts. They need people to analyze the markets and help them make certain decisions. And that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity where people can already make money. So that's one area that you can also leverage on and actually really grow a huge career. So I won't really take much time on that as well, because it's straightforward. Then the low fruits, the hanging fruits in the crypto industry, and an area that is very easy that many people do. And actually, the disadvantage that I would tell you with blockchain and cryptocurrency trading is that this is what has made most careers, blockchain and crypto careers, to be neglected. So there are few cryptocurrency and blockchain experts, because many people are focusing on trading, many people are focusing on, but actually building a career also. You can trade, but it's also important if you can be able to build, because I make money in speculation as well, but I focus my career largely on building a consultancy career in blockchain. And if you ask me, I think it's a better career for me, because I can still, it doesn't deny me to trade. Yeah. So if I can be able to consult and do this, because the opportunities in the consulting, if you want to build a concrete career, is really huge as well. But cryptocurrency trading as well is, and I had it there, blockchain trader, because there are also those who are just focusing on trading blockchain-based tokens. So, and of course, nowadays we've also come to areas like trading on decentralized exchanges. So that's another expertise again. I mean, when you talk about PancakeSwap, when you talk about Uniswap, people get lost. Yeah, and that's an area that if you're an expert in, trust me, there are opportunities that are coming up huge, because by the way, trading or using PancakeSwap is not always so straightforward. And the people would think it's so straightforward, they go there and lose money. Yeah, because there's always that permanent loss that you can experience if you really don't know how to go about that. So an expert in this area, in trading as well, there's a career for you, and you can be able to build out a huge career out of that. So blockchain and cryptocurrency entrepreneur, we've talked about the careers, the opportunities, but at the end of the day, you can as well decide to be an entrepreneur. You can decide to start your own company. Brian Adams is now running Cryptocurrency Academy. He's an entrepreneur, yeah, because I mean, I can only imagine when the industry explodes, how many classes he will have to hold every day to even manage the demand for the classes. Yeah, so the opportunity to start a crypto company, the opportunity to start a crypto research institute, the opportunity to start a crypto consultancy firm, the opportunity to start an academy, like the opportunity to start a blockchain development lab or farm is huge. You can be able to start your own exchange. You can be able to build your decentralized exchange. You can build an NFT platform. Yeah. So the opportunities with regard to building a career or being an entrepreneur, yeah, in blockchain and cryptocurrency is huge. So it's an area that you can as well really grow in. I mean, I have a background in accounting and finance, yeah? And after going through my degree and doing C.C.A, I dropped all that to focus on blockchain consulting, and I've built a career out of it, and I don't see myself ever becoming an accountant again. So what am I saying? I'm saying that irrespective of your background, this is a new industry. This is a really still young industry, and you can be able to still build a career in it, and you can as well still be able to start a company. Actually, in these early days, it's very easy to start a company, because at some point there will be too many, and I mean, it won't be really worthwhile to really start one. It's the right time for you to start a crypto company and build it. Give it your all, and after a few years, you'll see the fruits. Yeah. So I shared with Brian, these are just some of the job sites that I shared with Brian as well, that probably will share with you. Even the slides Brian can share with you. And that now is subject to the policy of Cryptocurrency Academy. But if that allows, then he'll be able to share with you. And these are some of the sites where you can maybe shop around and check the opportunities that are available in blockchain and cryptocurrency. And you can just you can just carve out a career. I mean, evaluate yourself. Which are your interest areas? Then carve out a serious career out of this industry. Yeah, make yourself an authority. Make yourself an authority. Yeah, let Google know you. Let Google know you. Yeah, let Google know you, because actually I have gotten so many jobs in consulting through people who just searched my name on Google. People who just typed blockchain expert in Africa or blockchain expert in Kenya, and what's the first profile they meet is my profile. Yeah, and it's because I deliberately built myself as a blockchain expert, and people are able then to reach out to me, and through by maybe looking for me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and even on Google, and I'm able to get opportunities. So actually, I've really met a lot of opportunities. Most consulting jobs that I've gotten, these are people I didn't know. These are people that looked for me online, yeah, and found me. So you build up a career, decide which industry or which career path you want to take with regard to blockchain and cryptocurrency, carve out the career, sit down, decide on what are the things that you have to do with regard to branding yourself and making yourself an authority with regard to that career, and then do what it takes to build that career. And with that, never start a business just to make money. Start a business to make a difference. I added this because I thought of the early days when I wrote my book. When I wrote my book, it was the first published book on blockchain in Africa. And it gave me a lot of opportunities, because during the same period, I think 1 year later, I started then the ChainAdvise Blockchain Advisory. And as a founder, one of the things I can tell you, I was not making money. Yeah, I mean, I could do conferences, I could do here and there, but trust me, I was not making money. I was supporting myself from different sources, but I was struggling a lot. So if I started it just for the money only, without building the passion for it, I would have dropped out of this a long time ago. So be determined to create a difference. Be determined to make a difference, depending on which direction you decide to take. Be determined to carve out a career and make a difference. Otherwise, thank you so much.